It's War Dragon time. RPW here with an event guide, Fortification 101. Now, if you are having any trouble gathering up lumber from other people, don't miss out on my top 10 tricks and tips video under the Beginner's Guide to War Dragon series. I'll include a link in the description below. But let's get this started. I love the Fortification event. It is definitely my favorite. So, what is the first thing everybody needs to do when the event begins or just before? That's right, you need to go into your storage hut and boost your protection and production of lumber. Now this, like I said, can be found in the storage hut, and it's going to give you 200% on each, on your production boost and your protection. You may want to do this up to a few hours before the event begins. However, if you're not planning to play at all on the first day, I would wait until things slow down, like on a Sunday. I personally am a little aggravated because we got loads of food boosts this season, and I've really had to be very careful spending my lumber boosts because there were so few. And I don't understand that because there's one feeding event per season, and then there's like 3 or 4 of the fortification events. So I don't know, guys. I hope they fix that for this next season coming up. Okay, so let's go over the next thing you should do. The next thing you should do is, of course, make sure you've collected up all your resources and make a plan. Make a literal game plan for the event. And the reason I say this is we tend to just jump in there and start upgrading things, and then we're like, oh, I forgot I had a level 34 ice turret in the back I could have upgraded. So it's better not to go into this event blindly. So go through and figure out what you have and what levels it can be taken up. Now, I personally will do this on pen and paper, but for the video, I'm actually going to do this on my iPad. So bear with me on this, and I did kind of speed it up, but I wrote down exactly how much of each resource I have. Now, these are what you call non-stealable resources, and these are the ones that are going to get you big points in the event. Remember, every time you spend like 10 lumber, you get 1 point. But every time that you spend 1 ice shard, you get like 10 or 20 points. I can't remember. We'll go over that in a moment. But these are the things that are worth the points. This is how you're going to gain big prizes within this season, or this event, I should say. So another thing I wanted to point out is your builder's hut. Your builder's hut is going to decide how high you can take certain things. So make sure you take note of that. And then a little extra thing I personally do is I figure out exactly how many speed ups I have for this particular event. So prior to the event beginning, I've got 183 12 hours, 418 3 hours, 332 1 hours, and then I've got 63 30 minutes, 409 15 minutes, and so forth. Then I literally go through and multiply. So if I would multiply 12 hours by 183 of them, it's going to give me 2,196 hours. And I do this all the way down, and I add it all up, and it's going to give me my total hours worth of speed ups, which is 3,923, or if you divide it by 24 hours, it is 163 days. Now, I personally like to kind of just draw out my base to get an idea of what I have and kind of go from there. And that's one reason I like a short base. So I'll literally go through, label out what I've got so that I can personally see it as I'm writing this stuff out. I know I have all level 34s on this island, and that island for me is the important one because that is what's helped correct the mistakes I've made in the past. And I also want to make sure that I write down what might be in my storage that I plan to upgrade slowly over time. And then, of course, always figure out what your den level is so you can know what to take it to, because it's 0 timers, guys. It's so fast to build. Now, at amobastudios.com, you can find building stats. This is what I use before every fortification event to prepare myself. If you go to their site, you're going to find building stats. And if you scroll down, it'll be every building within the War Dragons game. I personally went down to the den and I figured out what levels I could take mine up to, which mine is a maximum of level 32. Then I did the same thing with my ice turret and my fire turret, as well as my dark flax and so forth. Now, this allows me to figure out exactly what I need in embers and timers so that I can figure out the math as to what I can do first. Now this, like I said, is my most important, so this is what I would do first. So I go through and literally add up my timers. This right here is going to take me 68 days, which is 1,600 hours, which is 95 days. But remember, I have plenty more days than that. So now I'm going to be able to go back through and figure out what else can I do with the rest of my stuff and literally make a plan for myself. So I know that I have plenty of leftover where I can do all of these things and not waste my resources and my timers on just getting points, but instead also on building my base. Now remember guys, the lumber doesn't give you lots of points. It's the embers and so forth. Do not spend those between these events. It's just like your egg tokens or your fragments during a breeding event. Now, this part is where I actually went through and took a few pieces from my own playtime and kind of just captured it for you guys. I'm not going to go through everything step by step like a lot of the other YouTubers because it's done left and right. I don't think you really care what I did. You just want the information and let's move on, right? Okay, so once you've started this event and you've run out of resources, what do? Well, most everybody will reach out on team chat and say, hey, I need 280,000 lumber to upgrade something. Can you help me out? Well, let's go over something really quickly about that. Number one, everybody is building stuff and they just built everything that they could with what they have. They're not going to have anything else. The first 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to be able to attack other players and grab up what you can. So the moment you spend your first amount of lumber, go start your attacks. After about 10 minutes, maybe 15 if you're lucky, there's going to be nothing left to take. Everybody will have been looted. So even your high level players aren't going to be able to get much for you. This is at the point where you're going to lean on your elemental embers and your pearls and so forth to get points at this point. Don't waste your timers. Once that 10 minutes is up, build something and let it build because again, you're going to have a hard time finding anything else anyway. So then you're just sitting in idle and wasting stuff. And then whenever you have your between upgrade where you need lumber, try a lumber pack out. This is going to help you tremendously. And this is how I consistently hit my 700K to a little over 1 million points every single time we have a fortification event. So use these tips, guys. Now let's go over the actual event itself. Okay, so whenever you build things, you're going to gain points. Every time you spend 10 pieces of wood, you're going to get 1 point. And then on food, if you're upgrading your lumber mill, it's also going to get you 1 point. Now, if you're spending fragments, embers, or pearls, every time you spend one of these items, you're getting 20 points, which is why I'm saying that's going to be where you're going to focus your building at. Do not spend this between the events. This is why I believe you should build things like your lightning towers, your mage towers, and so forth between the events. You should be working one of those and then like your storage or something on your main island. And then the rest of the time during this event, you're only going to focus in on your elemental towers. Now, I know not all of you have got to that point. If you're low level, you're not going to be able to get a lot of points because of elementals. You don't really have a lot of towers that are going to be open for you. As for you, I know you want the points, but being that you're a beginner, this is probably your first season, save those back for your next season. Because realistically, guys, it's better to build for a strong base than it is to build for the event. Once you get to a higher level where you can do that, where you can do both, then this is what you would want to plan. So this just kind of gives you an idea of what to do in the future. If, like I said, though, you're small level, just wait it out. Sunday and Monday, your leadership will get you the lumber that you need. And don't forget about that den. It doesn't matter what level you're at. That is big points for pretty much no timers. There's literally no timers in it. So I hope this event guide helps with you guys. And be sure to check back with me. I have a beginner's guide series video on wars and how to accomplish them properly coming out very soon. Now, if you like this video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell so you can get notifications every time a new video pops up. Happy hunting!